Hello, welcome back to my video, and I'm here to share an update about my resignation. And then, yes, it's official. I have resigned from my company, and I'm actually now rendering at least 2 weeks. In Korean company, they don't usually have that system, but for my case, I have some vacation leaves unused, so I have to use them. But in this video, I'll be sharing with you what had transpired the moment I have uploaded my last video up until now, because many things have happened. There's a push and pull when it comes to my resignation. There were a lot of discussions, and I even went to my Secretary General for a discussion because they requested clarity on the reason why I wanted to resign, and they gave some offers. And eventually, I decided to turn down the offer with some reasons that are very personal to me. I think I was able to explain that in my last video. But in this video, yeah, I'll be sharing with you what happened in the last few days. Welcome. This is just a very simple vlog. I just want to make sure I keep everyone updated, posted, because I think a lot of you are very interested about living in South Korea. And eventually, if you find job here in South Korea and after some time you decide to leave or resign, you would have to deal with these kinds of shenanigans. And for my case, I've been working in my company for almost 3 years, 2 years and 7 months. I just rounded up to three, but that for easier referencing. So in the span of that time that I've been working there, I have been a staff. So I was the only international employee from the company. Hence, we were able to get some international projects requiring international interactions, partnerships, and such. I was the point person for that. And then prior to this decision to resign, actually been doing 4 to 5 projects, and for staff, that's too much. But in Korean standard, that's how it works. You cannot choose the project that you will take. You just have to accept what they give you. And I learned that the hard way because I think I figured out the reason why I decided to leave the company is because of burnout. I got burnt out. Like, it's like a state of me working very hard but not being able to receive anything in return. I think that's a quick definition for burnout. And a lot of us would try to solve that burnout by traveling, buying things we want, expensive stuff, eating out. For my case, I cannot do any of those because I'm a foreigner living in South Korea. And if you're familiar with the costs here in South Korea with versus the salary, it's barely enough. I can travel, yes, because of business trips. I can also travel with the very cheap flights, but that's not the usual case. So for me to resolve my stress, I confine with my office mates. We share a lot of our stresses and try to resolve it by eating out using the funds that we have. Like for example, we conduct meetings, we conduct training programs, then we try to eat out and enjoy the food. And that's how we resolve our issues in the office. And unfortunately, that's not the best way to do it because eventually it caught up and I was just stressed. There's one trigger that I think I can vividly remember the reason why I decided to fully resign is I was actually juggling 3 projects, and then eventually my boss decided to get one more project and got me involved in that project. Hence the burnout. Like, I am successful in managing the 3 projects. However, I did not receive any compliment nor commendation nor congratulations nor discussion with the boards like, oh, Justin did this. Justin was able to successfully do this. And the only thing I received as a feedback is, let's do this project next. I'll give you one more. And that's not a good thing, especially for, I mean, any employee. I know a lot of you watching this video, probably some of you have been working in the office, part of the company, being in management. You know how it works. It's hard to work hard if you don't receive anything in return. It's a give and take, even for companies. And probably some people will say, you're given the salary to work. Sure, but think of it this way: I'm a staff. I'm not a manager. I'm not a supervisor. I'm not a director. I'm a staff. And I receive staff salary. Therefore, the expectation is I receive staff work. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Again, this is South Korea. The more they can stretch you in a sense, stretch is used in the business sense that the more they can put you in a lot of projects and then brand it as if it's a training program, the more they will be able to do that if you don't complain or you don't say, oops, I have to step back. This is too much for me. I just want to make sure what's their priority. And I think I am the only employee in our company that has been actively saying that. Because even before they gave me the last project, the last straw, I already asked them, what is with these projects that you're trying to give me now? My plate is already full. Which one should I remove? And which one should I replace with a new project? And they said all of them are priority. In business sense, if everything is priority, it means there's no priority. If everything is important, then to be honest, there's nothing important. That's how it works in business. And I already caught that idea because they're trying to dump all the tasks at me. And that didn't sit well with me. So I decided to leave the company. In all honesty, I received a lot of support when it comes to finances because I was able to survive, be able to buy some stuff, even this camera that I'm using, even this mic that I'm using. These products were ways for me to cure my burnt out before. And I was able to successfully cure my burnt out syndrome with these products, fortunately. But I came to a point that buying new stuff didn't matter to me anymore. What mattered to me is being able to wake up, go to work, and enjoy what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I came to a point that I don't really enjoy anymore what I'm doing, so I decided to leave the company. So, in my last video, I mentioned that they were trying to change my mind about resigning, and that's very classic Korean company because, as much as possible, they don't want to initiate a domino effect. So, if a one person resigns, there is a natural tendency to a lot of companies and employees to resign as well. And that is rampant in South Korea, especially with small groups or organizations that they really, really function well with. No, they really survive with limited employees. So in Korea, that's one thing they are trying to avoid. Because if, like for my case, I decided to resign, my teammates will carry the burden of managing my tasks, and unfortunately, it will make them experience the burnt out syndrome that I experience, which might lead to them eventually resigning. So, as much as possible, they don't want you to resign. So they try to talk to me. They try to discuss, Justin, what was the reason of you wanting to resign? Do you want to think about it? Or are there things that we can do to change it? And I laid out three conditions. I said, I just want to get regular. I want to be a regular employee. I want to be promoted. And I want to attend the business trips that you promised that I will attend at the start of the year. They were able to give me two out of three. So they were able to give me the business trips at the same time the full-time employment. But to be honest, the biggest weight, it's like 50% promotion, the rest is 25% divided with the other conditions. The biggest portion of my condition, which is promotion, they were not able to do. What they were saying is that it's mid-year, we cannot do the promotion because of company policy. However, last year they were able to promote a Korean mid-year. So it doesn't make sense. They argued that they had to change the policy because of a lot of things, but still it doesn't make sense. On that perspective, it's like I am thinking of a lot of reasons why they don't want to promote me, but yeah, I did not get that condition. But they promised. No, it's not a promise. They told me that on December there'll be an assessment and they'll consider my promotion for starting next year. And I said, no, So now we're in the story of me resigning today. And today is actually my last day. I went to the office this morning, and I had a half day work today. So after lunch, eating with my colleagues, I said my goodbye, and then eventually deleted all my files in my laptop and then left the company. Still, I'm part of their payroll until August 31st. I'm still waiting for my final pay. In South Korea, it's a very important thing that the company gives you the final pay within, I think, 14 days or 1 month after the final working day or the last day of your work. So that's how it works here in South Korea. I'll give you more information about what happened in that from last week until this week. So I talked with my colleagues, I talked with my manager, I talked with my director, I talked with the secretary general. All of them are saying that I should stay and wait until December for promotion. But here's the thing, I already had trauma when it comes to these kinds of verbal, oh, we will do this, we will do that. Because they did the same thing with me last year. And unfortunately, as I've been saying to my director, to my manager, words for me nowadays don't really matter, even if the Secretary General would tell me that I'll get promoted. Because I experienced last year that they will give me full time employment, but they were not able to do so. There were circumstances during that time that prevented me from taking or becoming a full time employee, which I don't really fully understood during that time. Hence, my distrust. I was disheartened and I started distrusting the system. And I think this is the perfect time for me to leave, to be honest, because I cannot really work or function efficiently if I don't really trust the system and the management. It's not that they're a bad person or they are not really looking forward or looking up to my welfare. It's not that. It's just that for me, I already felt betrayed before. So I've been very, very careful when it comes to showing them my ambitions, my cards, and everything. So I decided to say that, yeah, I'm done. I'm okay. I am leaving. And then up until I discussed with my Secretary General, discussed everything there, they promised that they'll give me they promised to do the validation or confirmation if I'll be eligible for promotion on December, and if I'll get promoted I'll start supervisor position on January. To be honest, I tried mentally calculating things out. Yeah, it's not really a big deal. I can really benefit from it. I get money. Promotion would mean improvement in my salary, and yeah, overall title. And it's really a good deal for me. It's like a win-win for me. If I take it, I'll get the benefit of getting promoted. If I don't take it, like what I did now, I get peace of mind. So it's a win-win strategy for me. However, here's the thing. If I decided to take that promise, the promotion is conditional based on the people on the management team if they'll promote me or not. If they decide not to, they can just say no. Oh, Justin, you didn't pass the assessment. That's one thing. Second, the last quarter of the year in any company is the hardest. It's where you do the final reports. It's when you do the presentations. It's when you do everything in order to accomplish all the KPIs. It's when you spend all the money. It's when you close the books. It's when you do the final report for any projects that you have taken. And to be honest, I think I won't be able to survive the last 4 months with this kind of state of mind, which with this state of mind. Like my mind is not really working or functioning and aligning with what they are envisioning for my position. So I just decided to say, yes, I am very grateful for all the conditions and for the effort you have done. However, I fully decided to leave. And yeah, that I'll be rendering some weeks in order to consume all my vacation leaves and eventually leave on August 31st. So that was the story. And up until this morning, I mean, yesterday, to be honest, they're trying to see if there is still a possibility of me rescinding my resignation. And Probably just, recalibrating my direction for the company, probably asking me what can I do, what I should not do, what I can drop as responsibility. But I don't want to do that anymore because, again, it's not that I am lazy. It's more of I'm trying to protect myself from being overused and, how do you call this, abused. They didn't abuse me in a sense, but I felt abused in terms of being maximized in all possible opportunities. I even did some translation work, even if I am very, very bad in Korean language. Imagine that. However, yeah, that was one of the activities I've done for my company. I've mentioned this with them. Like when they hired me, I said, my Korean language skill is elementary. But when it comes to English presentation, you can count on me. That's what I said. So, yeah. But yeah, that was a story for another day. But here's the thing. So after my official last day, which is today, I'll be on vacation leave on starting August 20 until 31st. Fortunately, August 28th is a holiday designated by my company, so that's another vacation leave for me. I mean, a lot of things happen, which I really, really liked. So now I'm unemployed. Yeah, that's it. Bye bye.